Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly update for the week of January 29th. We're going to spend some time reviewing over assessments and topics you had due last week, and then looking at the course calendar for a couple things you have due this week. So the first thing I want to look at are the quizzes that we had due last week. Overall, guys, quiz grades were really great. Really happy with the way things turned out. It looks like you're really retaining the information, really understanding. If you are having any problems, please contact me. Let me know. If I don't know there's a problem, I don't know how to help you. So I'll be more than happy to review over the information with you. Anything that's kind of got you hung up or stuck at a certain point, just let me know and I will be more than happy to go over the information with you. Now, there were a couple questions from each quiz that I'm going to take a second to go over here that I want to go through and review. Now, the first quiz, when I did my review, usually what I look for is there a question that more than half the class missed? And if there is, I look to see if it was worded in a way that may lead to some confusion, if I need to throw it out or disregard it. Now, this question, it wasn't missed by more than half the class, but it was missed by quite a few, so I wanted to take a second to go through and review it. I didn't throw it out. But I felt it necessary to kind of go through and review this particular question. So for quiz one, the question was, if you had this question, it was strategic planning should only include a few key people. Now I had a lot of people put true for this question, but the answer to this question is actually false. We want a good interdisciplinary team and a good mix of people brought together. So while we do want to include those key people, we want to make sure we bring a good aspect and different perspectives to the process. Now for quiz two, I did throw this question out because I did have quite a few miss it, so I felt it necessary to throw this one out. A lot of people put CEO for this question, and that's in the organizational structure, who has the main responsibility for ensuring the strategic planning process. So like I said, I had a lot of the class put the CEO for this question, but the answer to this question is actually the board of directors. So if you'll go back and review where we talked about this throughout the lecture, you'll see board of directors actually is the the people who have the main responsibility for ensuring that strategic plan is carried out. So let's go through and review one more thing from last week. You had due your topics, your group topics, or your organizations that you were going to work with. So I had a great variety turned in. So what we have is DaVita Dialysis Center, Mountain States Health Alliance, a life support organization, the Waters, the Red Cross, and the one you don't see up on this list, I haven't updated it yet, is the Ronald McDonald House. So we have a really good mix here. I'm really excited to see what you guys are going to pull together in terms of the strategic plan when you start working with these organizations. I had a couple questions come in last week in regards to the project, so I want to take a second to go ahead and address those. And the first one was, how much time are you expected to actually meet with your organization? Now, the thought behind this project in terms of your organization's involvement is very minimal. You may need to meet with your organization maybe a 30-minute to 1 hour meeting at max, but your organization or your contact person's involvement should be minimal. Most of what you need, you should be able to find out on the internet, doing some research. So everything you need should be out there. There may be a couple gaps that your contact person at the organization may need to help fill you in on. That's perfectly fine, but I just want to reiterate their input and their involvement in this process should be very, very minimal. One 30-minute to an hour meeting should be enough to take care of any questions that you have. So to build off that, my advice, if you do have to meet with your organization, is going to be scroll over to content and down to assignments and to group worksheets. You'll see the group worksheets that your group will have to complete throughout the semester are all available to you to go through and review. Now, what I would recommend as a group before you schedule a meeting with your organization, if you feel you need to do that, is go through each of the worksheets. So we'll pick up the first worksheet here, review through that worksheet, and see if there are any questions that you absolutely do not think you could answer on your own. So we look at worksheet 1 here, we're looking at mission, vision, and values. This should not be anything that you need to meet with your organization about. All this information for each one of your organizations should be publicly available. But there are some worksheets that you may need to meet with about, particularly around your situation analysis. And we'll get into some more details with that the closer we get to worksheet 2. But if your group in particular has questions about any of the worksheets, please let me know. So that was the first question that I wanted to address, just about how much involvement should your organization or your contact person have. And the answer to that is it should be very minimal, maybe 30 minutes to an hour. And I'm more than happy to meet with any groups and give you a little bit more direction or insight into different questions that you might want to ask your group or your organization when you do meet with them. Another thing that I did notice, I didn't necessarily have a question brought in on this, but I noticed it through the quizzes. You'll notice on one of the quizzes you had a bonus question regarding NTOP form. I had a couple of people miss that, but if you'll go to course information, this was pointed out if you viewed the planning course overview video. If you'll go to the NTOP form module and click on that, all the information that you're going to need regarding any of the extra credit questions, and you're going to see some more down the road on your quizzes, is going to be found right here in the NTOP form overview and the accompanying instructional video that goes with NTOP form. Now, NTOP form is ETSU's quality enhancement plan, and it's how we test and kind of guide students through how they're gathering information for different projects, research papers, things like that. So are you walking yourself through these questioning, seeking, evaluating, using, communicating, and recognizing steps? And I go into more detail regarding NTOP form in this video, so if you want to view that, it's very short. It may help you get another bonus point or two on the next quiz. Now, before we look down the schedule into things we have coming up due this week, one other thing, I've gotten quite a couple emails this week already about it, and that I want to make sure to address through this weekly update video, is participation in your group projects. I've got a couple emails about group members not being that participatory, and I just want to reiterate here, guys, that this is a group effort. This is a group project. And so it's going to take each member of your group contributing a significant portion to the project. Now, if you'll notice, or if you'll go to content under assignments and group strategic project, in the descriptor, your participation in your group project based off your peer evaluation is going to account for 2% of your project plan grade, while the narrative that your group submit is going to account for 98%. So your participation and how well you contribute and how well you're participating in the group activities throughout the semester, it will factor into your final group strategic planning grade. So if you're having issues, if you're not able to meet, if you're having a conflict in scheduling with your group, please let me know. I'm more than flexible to help you work through some of that. If you're, like I said, if you're experiencing any issues, please let me know. If I don't know there's an issue, I can't help you. If any groups out there are experiencing issues with group members not participating, please let me know, and I will be happy to work with you to address that. But guys, make sure that you are participating in the group project. I want you to get something out of this project. It will be beneficial to you. And the only way you're going to do that is through participating in the group project. So like I said, if you're having any issues, please let me know. Now the last thing we're going to look at, we're going to go back over to course information and into syllabus. We're going to look at some things we have coming due this week, and I'm going to offer a little bit more explanation. I know I had a couple questions come in over, or a question or two come in over the weekend regarding the discussion postings. So we're right here in the week of January 29th. We're looking this week at Chapter 3, so we're looking at analyzing the environment internally for the organization and externally for the organization. So make sure you're looking at Chapter 3 and looking at Lessons 4 and 5 to go along with that. And we'll scroll over to the content in just a second and go over that. The assignments due for this week here in this last column, you have 2 assignments due this week. And they're both group assignments. So the first one is going to be your discussion posting number 1. Now this is concerning your group's mission, vision, and value statement for the organization that you're working with. Now the first initial posting by your group is due this Wednesday, January 31st at 11:59 p.m. The reason that it is due this Wednesday is so that your assigned group has time to offer feedback before the final deadline of Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Also due this Wednesday is your worksheet number 1 draft to the appropriate Dropbox, again so that your assigned teams or your assigned groups have time to offer feedback to you before the deadline of 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. So where do you go to see who you're assigned to offer feedback? Let's scroll back up to course information. And if you'll go down to assignments, and guys, everything you need to know about regarding any assignment in this class is going to be found in this assignment module. So let's go over to discussion board assignments. And you'll see on discussion boards, if you scroll down, there's a little overview of the discussion board assignment, what's expected, what you should be posting, the do's and don'ts for the assignment, how it should be structured. Your posting is due initially, your group position is due Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. There's a couple of things that I'm looking for to make sure you have. I've given you some examples on how to set it up. We'll scroll back out, and you'll see the next document is your discussion board schedule. Now this is all covered in the overview module. But if you'll click on your discussion board schedule, you'll see who you are assigned to for this week. So group 1, you're going to be looking for group 6 posting on their mission, vision, and value statement after Wednesday. Each group is going to have until Wednesday to make their group initial posting on their appropriate discussion board. And then after that, your assigned group will offer feedback. So group 6, you're going to offer feedback to group 1, and group 1, you're going to offer feedback to group 6, group 2 to group 5 to group 2, and group 3 to group 4, and group 4 to group 3. So everybody's paired up for this week to offer some feedback on mission, vision, and value statement. Again, if you'll read that descriptor, there will be some things that I'm asking you to look for, in terms of the mission, vision, and values, what's good and what's bad, how would you change it. Let's go on over to that discussion board and check that out real quick. So you'll see there's a description of what we're going for this week. Your groups will individually list your mission, vision, and value statement. Groups can elect one group leader to make the initial posting. Not every group member has to worry about making a group posting, but I want the group members to be involved in this. So when you're offering feedback, what I want you to look for are what elements of your assigned group's mission, vision, and values are beneficial? What do you think they should change? Does it really fulfill the definition of a mission, vision, and value statement like we've talked about throughout the lectures? So if you'll, here's an example of how you can set that up on the discussion board posting. And again, if you will have your initial group postings in by 11:59 on Wednesday, and then your responses to your assigned group by 11:59 on Sunday. Now, again, guys, if there's any questions, please feel free to call me, email me, Skype me, let me know what's going on. That way I can offer a little bit more clarity. Additionally, the other item that's due this week from a group standpoint to the Dropbox will be that mission, vision, values worksheet. So go ahead, you can find that under content. You'll scroll down to the week that we're in, which is week 3. You'll see the module set up for today, the PowerPoint lectures along with the associated recordings. You'll see the discussion board, and you will also see the appropriate Dropbox that's set up for your submission for that worksheet. So 3 things due this week. Your initial group discussion due by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. where you're listing out your mission, vision, and value statement. Just follow that criteria that's listed on the discussion board. Again, go over to discussions, You'll see the criteria listed here for the first discussion. Get that in initially Wednesday by 11:59, and then offer your assigned group their feedback by Sunday at 11:59, and make sure to submit your group worksheet by 11:59 on Sunday. Guys, if there's any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm more than happy to speak to you and help resolve any issues that you're having. I hope everybody has a great week.